recently you were top 50 in the country, I believe,
At our brokerage,
at the
yes.
brokerage.
And
at
it's
Dominion.
anyone that was creating a positive change in the community. I wanted to have them on the show. So it's been 5 years now, almost 200 episodes, staying consistent with a presence on social media. Far too often, people are very active online, and then it drops off, and then your community that you've built forgets about you.
All right, so everybody, welcome back to Cracking the Success Vault here. My guest today, Linden Crain, mortgage specialist with Dominion Lending Centers.
Yes.
Right? Super mortgage team.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about a lot of different things today. I gave you some questions, obviously. Not really questions, more areas where we might focus in. The podcast is really business focused, life focused, lessons, things that other entrepreneurs, people could take, and implement in their own life. Right. So I don't know too much about you. We had a couple conversations a couple years ago.
Yep.
You were looking at either getting into financial services or mortgages or something. You chose the mortgage route, which has been super successful for you. It's been 3.5 years now?
2.5.
2.5 years.
Yes.
2.5 years.
Yep.
Youngest person ever to be elected city council member in Amherstburg, if I believe correct.
Yes.
Which is super neat. I'm curious to know how that's been for you. But let's start from the very beginning.
Sure.
So who is Linden Crain? How did you grow up? And what do you think are some of the things that got you to where you are right now?
Yeah, so thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I started in Amherstburg, grew up there, also grew up in Windsor, split household, so I would stay with my mom on the weekends in Windsor, so I know the Windsor area very well. Went to high school at Amherst, and then later went to the University of Windsor for business. During that time, I was also working with Drew Dilkins in the mayor's office for a few years, and that really opened my eyes to municipal government. From there, got elected in 2022 in October, would have been the end of October.
Okay.
And then at the same time, I was actually in my MBA program. So I was taking a master's degree in business, but got elected and figured, hey, put that on the back burner. It was difficult running for office and being in the program, and it was more difficult when I actually won. So
Right.
I would go to MBA class from 8 to 1, and then from 1 to 8, I would be knocking on doors. So
Wow.
once I achieved that goal, I figured, hey, I could always go back and have an MBA in my pocket. So, and then when I got elected, I was looking for something that would pair well with my council schedule, give me the flexibility I need to attend meetings like I had to this morning, and fell into mortgages. I know we had met about the investment side, also met with our broker, Joe Bondi, and I always enjoyed real estate. And from a young age, I wanted to get into the market early. I'd actually remembered sitting down with Joe in university, getting pre-approved.
Cool.
So that's how I first met him, and it was a pre-approval. I think I was working part-time for $80,000. Yeah. And at that time I could have bought something in West Windsor, and I should have. But I always had the idea I want to get in investing and understanding the money side. Yeah. So January of 2023 is when I entered the mortgage biz.
Nice. And how have things been going? So I saw recently you were top 50 in the country, I believe.
At our brokerage,
at the brokerage at Dominion Lending. You got flown out to Kelowna, I forget, BC somewhere.
My aunt
had
actually
a little
lives
weekend.
there.
A little weekend with the team.
Yeah, my aunt lives there, and I had messaged the CEO of our company. So there's Dominion Lending Centers, which is the brokerage that I'm at, and then there's also Mortgage Architects and Mortgage Center. That's all owned by Dominion Lending Centers Group.
Okay.
So the CEO, co-founder of Dominion Lending Centers Group, also lived in Kelowna, where I was going on vacation. Cool. So I knew him a little bit, and I messaged him, and he's like, "Yeah, come over to the cottage, and we could have an outing on the boat." And it was just a really eye-opening experience to mortgages at his level, right? So,
absolutely. Yeah, it's something different when you're not, boots on the ground hustling, first 2.5 years for you, right? I mean, I remember my first 2.5 years in financial services, and like you're just constantly out there. You're grinding,
constantly marketing yourself,
finding new ways to meet people, doing deals. When you're not doing deals, you're, back office. When you're not doing that, you're grinding, learning the business, working on sales skills, all that kind of stuff, right? And so talk to me about a little bit about your family. So how'd you grow up? Obviously, you said split houses with your parents. Were your parents really teaching you the entrepreneurial thing? Do they own businesses? Is it something you got into in the future? Like, how did that whole thing kind of come about?
So my dad's in sales. He works for a company that Valiant and Windsor owns called Velco Manufacturing. So he's always been in the sales business. And I remember as a young teen, like being in the car, hearing him on the phone constantly. He would work very long hours. He's up at 5, getting home at 7 o'clock. So I always knew maybe that's the route that I want to head. He was also encouraging me to go to law school. So that was something that I applied to as well. And really, I think it was just a matter of co-op experiences, getting outside of the classroom in university, where I'm lucky enough to have found something that I'm extremely passionate about and want to retire in. But yeah, my dad opened my eyes to the sales industry.
Neat.
And my mom works for Windsor Essex Community Housing, so she has this housing background. So it's looking at it now, it's interesting that both my parents are in separate roles, but also relate to the mortgage business,
which is what you got into.
Interesting.
And that's neat because I think I'm very similar in that sense. I mean, my mom was more administrative, whether at the courthouse or hospital or whatever. But my dad was in sales my whole life. And it was really interesting because growing up, I remember being like, man, I just don't know if I want to do sales the way my dad does. He's always on message. He's always talking about what he does. He's always, talking to that random person in the grocery line when you're checking out. And as a kid, you're like, man, this is kind of weird. And I don't know what he's doing. And then you get older and you're like, man, like it's actually kind of fun. And meeting new people and new experiences is kind of fun. Did you have the same sort of experience with your dad being in sales? Or did you just really think like, man, I look up to my dad and that's what I want to do?
No, I mean, I enjoy talking to people and staying busy. I think that's really my skill set, staying busy, but also organized at the same time. And I like being in a position where it's always go, 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 go. Second I'm sitting down, I'm falling asleep. So I think that's just in my blood a little bit, and this role gives me that opportunity to just constantly be working and doing what you love. But I enjoyed growing up, seeing what he was doing, and figured, hey, I don't know if he can do it, maybe I can.
Right.
So
that's very neat. And so, did your parents instill a lot of hardworking values just from you watching them? Do you have a sports background at all, or?
My dad does. So he was involved in, he still is in junior hockey in the area.
Okay.
I'm not the best at sports. Hung up the jersey as early as I could, but they instilled a ton of skills in me. I think just hard work and being dedicated and being somebody that always shows up on time, getting the job done are things that I always focus on. So if there's some type of idea that I get, it's a matter of taking action and following through and getting it done. If I say I'm going to do something, following through on that promise to myself, right? So those are some things that I guess I would learn from them along the way.
Yeah. Did you set a lot of goals as a kid?
I did, yeah. I still do. Every year I create a vision board. It's on my lock screen on my phone, and I constantly remind myself of what I'm looking to achieve next. I have a note on my phone of goals for 2025, and just working through that is one of the most satisfying things you can do.
Yeah. Checking things off a list is pretty intriguing. Is it something you learned from your parents? Is it something you learned from school? Is it something you just found on your own?
Yeah, I remember growing up, my dad had this notebook, and he would write down his goals, short term, long term, and then what he would achieve at the end of the day, not what he didn't achieve, but what he did achieve.
Right.
And he has if I went into his closet, I mean, he's probably got hundreds of these
Stacks
books.
of them, yeah.
But every morning and every night he'd write down his goals.
Wow.
So I think when it's written, it's real, and putting the pen to the paper really tricks your mind into believing that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, there's lots of different people in the, you know, personal development space, mindset space that talk about, and I'm pretty sure there's even like a Harvard study about the fact that people who wrote down their goals every day versus those who didn't have like a 80% higher success rate of actually achieving them. Like, it's a crazy statistic that just writing things down of what you want can actually help you get it faster.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of neat. And so tell me a little bit about the whole council part. So working in the mayor's office, what made you want to run for council? What made you want to think, man, I really want to make a difference to the area that I live in?
So I was involved with a few different organizations in town, Amherstburg Community Foundation. So I was on a board quite young while I was in university. And then I would always volunteer for events in town and figured, hey, I want to be a part of the change. And we were missing a younger perspective. It's a lot of retirees that enter politics. And so I figured, well, why not do it while I'm young? If I lose, it was a great learning opportunity for me. And lucky enough, the people did elect me. But and then just working at the city, being involved in large scale projects in the mayor's office and helping with their communication side and being exposed to that level, I think is helping me now in my role in Amherstburg, where some of the projects are not at the scale of the city of Windsor due to the population size. Yeah. But I'm able to reflect back on what I learned there. So
and try to bring it forward into your current role.
Yeah.
And so what are some of the kind of things that you guys are currently working on right now?
Well, probably in the news today is finding a new police force in Amherstburg. So we were teamed up with the city of Windsor. That contract ends in 2027. So now we have to look at either partnering up with LaSalle Police, creating our own police force, or OPP.
Okay.
So we're on a time crunch there to find a new police force to service the community. Yeah. So that's a big project. We just passed recently a Valente development where the old General Amherst High School was. So
yeah, that looks like it's going to be a very neat project.
It's almost like a flex space, right? They have commercial on the bottom, residential up top, and Bellevue as well on Dalhousie Street. So that's in progress at the moment. It was an old Ukrainian church that the town purchased, would have been mid 2000s. Can't remember the exact date, but now we're working on a project with Amico to see if they're able to do to fix up the building, put residential in the back. So there's a lot of exciting things happening in the burg, and
a lot of interesting things that most people don't see. Right? Most people, I mean, I'm assuming most people don't attend meetings. Most people don't, and they don't really know truly what's going on in the city and how things are changing.
Yep.
That's interesting to have that inside sort of approach and be able to actually make the change.
Yeah, and a big part of our role is being, I think, being a brand ambassador for the town, right? So with media changing online and news outlets not having the platform that they did with a lot of the bans on Facebook and Instagram, it's up to us to inform the public, and in a positive light. Yeah. So anything I'm sharing is all good news, providing the updates to the people, because the more people are informed, the less there's rumors going around, especially in a small town.
Absolutely, of course.
Yeah.
And so you are doing a lot of different things, right? You've got the council side, you've got the mortgage side, you've got Coffee with Crainer. So let's talk a little bit about that. Where did that idea come around?
It was in 2020 during the pandemic. I was would have been my third year university. Everything shut down, and I really, really enjoyed going to conferences, seeing people on stage speak about all types of topics, TEDx talks, business conferences, you name it. I really enjoyed attending those, and I figured since that can't take place during the pandemic, why not have it online?
Right.
And focus on local people in the area, executives, non-for-profits, anyone that was creating a positive change in the community. I wanted to have them on the show. So it's been 5 years now, almost 200 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it. It's
you
fun.
seem to have a lot of very interesting people on there. Is it in the beginning, did you have a list of people that you wanted to, and you were like, maybe I'll reach out to some of these people and they don't respond. And then 4 years, 5 years later, you're like, 250 some odd episodes. And now they're actually responding to you because of,
it was a matter of building a pipeline of guests that were credible to convince, that one guest that I really want on, hey, look, I just interviewed all your friends.
Right.
How can you say no? Right.
So interesting. And so let's talk a little bit about then from the general business side. 2.5 years in, very successful in mortgages, recently engaged. So congrats to that.
Thank you.
What are some of the things that you learned early on, either through school, social media, family, that make you feel like you've implemented those things to make you a success in the mortgage world and with Coffee with Crainer and all those kinds of things? What would you say are two or three things that have made the difference?
Being consistent and persistent, for sure. Doing the same thing over and over again. Reflecting back on entering the business in 2023, didn't have a book. So I think I'd booked 50, 60 coffee chats with potential referral partners, whether it be realtors, financial advisors, lawyers, accountants, and meeting after meeting after meeting, sharing my story, eventually led to a sale, right? So staying consistent with that, staying consistent with a presence on social media. Far too often, people are very active online, and then it drops off. And then your community that you've built forgets about you.
Right.
So doing that, the podcast, staying consistent with episodes, and how I've been able to stay consistent is by building systems that allow me to do a bunch of different things all at the same time, without spreading yourself too thin. So having to hire staff or implementing AI in your business,
which is happening a lot nowadays. And so what kind of systems and processes did you implement? I mean, I don't normally hear, how old are you right now?
25.
25. I don't normally hear of 20 to 25-year-olds that are implementing systems to make them successful in business. So what made you want to implement those systems, and what kind of things did you implement to help you along the way?
Yeah. So for the mortgage business, a few different things. So I reached to a point where there was a lot of deals coming in, and I didn't have the time to sift through all the paperwork to bring it to the finish line for a closing. So in the mortgage space, you get somebody pre-approved. So you collect their documents, get them pre-approved. They get an accepted offer on a home, or you're submitting their file, and then they're officially approved. And then between approval and closing, there's a number of extra documents, compliance you have to do to get the file funded and compliant. So that section of my business, I hired a document specialist that could take out that part, so I could always be front facing and focused on pre-approvals and getting the file approved.
Yeah.
Also, I'm trying to offload some of the maybe more difficult files, more time consuming, to other agents in the office.
Okay.
For me, productivity and efficiency is everything. Like, your time is the most valuable commodity.
Absolutely.
And you're given 24 hours in a day, and how do you optimize that? Yeah. And for me, I'm just always looking at what's the time value of everything. So did that. For my podcast, I actually hired an assistant to help manage the social media outreach, booking guests, creating questions, creating the posters, because I was doing that all on my own,
right?
For the first 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So
So it took you 4 years to get to that point.
Yes.
And
yeah.
then you're like, okay,
I was in
is
school.
just
I
too
mean,
much. Like,
yeah, maybe I was, making $100 a week while I was in university, right? So couldn't afford it at the time.
Right.
But when you get to that point, instead of reaching a point in your business where you're so overwhelmed that everything crashes or you can't keep up and now you're burning bridges or your client experience is diminishing,
right.
take that leap of faith and hire somebody who can help offload some of those day-to-day tasks you shouldn't be focusing on. Right.
And are these lessons that you learn from talking to the guests on the podcast, some of them?
Yes and no, like more from other people in the industry.
Okay.
I'm really big on being in a room that's, with people that are much smarter than I am.
Yeah, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So at our brokerage, I'm always talking to other top agents, figuring out what they're doing, and learned a lot from them. Our broker, Joe.
Yeah.
So just being a sponge and always looking at it as you don't have the answer for everything, and it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah. Which I find a lot of people don't do.
Yes, they don't.
Right?
They don't.
They want to do it themselves. They want to. And why try and reinvent the wheel? Why struggle where you don't have to, right? If somebody already knows the answer, has the lesson, why not just learn from them and avoid that landmine per se?
Yes, absolutely. Right. So
interesting.
Instead of taking 5 hours to get to the answer and it takes a 5-minute phone call, I would take the 5-minute phone call, right?
Yeah, and I think AI is going to start helping with that with certain industries, probably. Maybe all of them, but at the same time, there's still going to be that front-facing experience needed, right? Okay, and so what would you say then? So persistence, following through, doing what you say you're going to do. Let me ask you the reverse question. What are 2 or 3 lessons that you had to learn the hard way that maybe you're actually thankful that you learned them the hard way because it made you grow as a person, as a business owner, as a salesperson?
Really good question.
What's a couple landmines you stepped on that you're like, man, I really shouldn't have done that, but I know now that I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Trying to do too many things at once, for sure.
Okay.
I was on a Habitat for Humanity board as a board member there. I was on council. I was doing the mortgage business, the podcast, and I quickly realized I don't have enough time in the day to do all of this,
right?
And be 100% in each thing, right?
Right.
It's like being, so right now I specialize in residential mortgages.
Okay.
I just had lunch with somebody today and I was mentioning I rather specialize in one aspect of this field than try to master
all of it.
So that's something I think I learned quite early in my career so far. Deals, I mean, there's always challenges with a file and getting a borrower approved.
Yep.
And I think there were some instances where I'm like, you know what, I don't want to bug our broker or somebody in the office. I'll try to figure this out on my own. And then you realize it took me 10 steps to get to the finish line when I could have taken a shortcut.
Right.
And far too many agents or anyone that's in a commissioned job don't take that extra step just to ask.
Right. Ask somebody that already knows the answer.
Yeah.
Right.
So
simple, easy, quick. Interesting. Okay. Wow. Yeah. And so what would you say from your 2.5-year experience, what would you say are some issues that you see from the client side of things when people are trying to get pre-approved, when they're going to buy their first house or going to refinance?
Yep.
Obviously, you and I are in similar businesses, but on opposite ends. We're doing the life insurance, the investments, saving for that down payment, et cetera. And you're getting them approved. So what do you think, to the people that are listening, what do you think are, for them, what do you think are 2 or 3 things landmines that they could sidestep instead of causing them some problems when they're, going to a guy like yourself to get approved?
A few things. A lot of borrowers are faced with information overload with technology, and ChatGPT is the worst for it. Is they're looking up all the mortgage information on ChatGPT or online, and they have their friends and family telling them other things. So it's a matter of getting to the expert right off the bat, blocking out all of the other noise, because you can get in this dark hole of information and not knowing what's correct or not. So go speak to an expert right off the bat. They'll give you the straightforward answers. A lot of borrowers like to spread themselves too thin and reach out to 8 different banks on their own. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a big mistake. It's multiple credit pulls. You are, I'm blanking here. Maybe you can cut this part out.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's all good.
Yeah. Where was I going with that?
The issues that buyers have.
Yeah. So it actually, if you're speaking to 8 different banks at once, you're being pulled in a bunch of different directions. And when there's a time sensitive deal, let's say you're purchasing a property and you have 8 different approvals on the go. Oh yeah. It's creating extra work for them when we can do it all for the same cost.
Using a broker instead.
Right. So that's where we take out.
Save yourself some time, some energy. Mm-hmm. And coming back to that same point you just made, right? Like ChatGPT, friends, family overload. I mean, information overload. If you do go that route and go get the advice from 8 different mortgage brokers, everyone's going to have a different opinion and a different whatever rate, different this, different that. And now not only are you sifting through your friends, family, ChatGPT, Google, the endless wormhole you can go down that route. And then you've got 8 other professionals all telling you potentially something different.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And so what are you guys seeing in the market right now from a mortgage standpoint? I mean, we've, a lot of people have been concerned about the market. Mm-hmm. Obviously, April for us on our side of the business wasn't great. Trump and his announcing tariffs, caused a 2-day pretty significant blimp, and then 3 days back up, and then things just kept rising, right? We've been in a pretty positive on the whole year, with you excluding that, 2-week period in April. Where do you guys see the mortgage side right now? Where's people at?
This year's been really interesting. Going from 2024 into 2025, everyone was predicting 3 or 4 rate cuts. It was going to be the busiest year since the pandemic. Yeah. And then Trump got into office and everything completely changed. So the tariffs have scared a lot of people away from getting into the market. There's a lot of listings right now, and I'm finding that buyers have too many options. Yeah. So we're getting a lot of pre-approvals done, but people aren't purchasing a home until 6-7 months after they've been pre-approved.
Right.
So the transaction's taking a little bit longer. There's a lot of refi and renewal business at the moment, and banks are sharpening their pencils on renewals. Mm-hmm. They want to keep the client, so client retention is a priority for them.
Yeah.
So
especially because we're coming up to that time where, 2020, 2021, you had rates at 2.25 to 1.8, and now people are starting to refi at 4, whatever, right? So it's a big challenge for a lot of people, knowing that their rate is 2%, maybe more, higher than it was when they had it before.
Yes. And the market today is very inconsistent. One week it'll be crazy busy, 5 accepted offers. Next week there'll be 2, and then maybe some more refis. So it's constantly fluctuating. There's a sense of fear, no doubt. And I think it'll get better later this year as time passes.
Yeah. As people just get more confident with where the market's at, with Trump being in power, with less volatility, or why do you think that later this year it'll be a little bit better?
I think...
and I won't hold you to it.
So. Yeah. I do feel like consumers, and even from like a political side of things, the average consumer's memory of some life activity
100%.
is not the longest. So, you know, something catastrophic could happen 2 months ago, 4 months ago, passed by, and nobody's talking about it anymore, right? Same thing with the political side is, you know, we could have made a decision in our first year of the term, and then year 4 comes around and nobody remembers what happened in year 1.
Right.
So that, I just think with time, people come out of their shell, and then are back into the swing of things.
Yeah. Okay. And so where would you say you see yourself being in the next, you know, let's say 3 to 5 years? Obviously you love the mortgage business. What do you think is next for you? What are some goals that you want to check off your list?
So in our business, we measure based on units, closed transactions, and then volume of loans funded. Okay. So there's certain targets that I want to hit, and on that sense, I don't necessarily want to have a team of agents underneath me at this point. I would rather have more admin. Yeah. That way, I'm still always front facing, and having a team sometimes can be a lot of work. Yeah. You put a lot of energy into
dealing with people and training and stuff.
Yes, you train people, and then 2 months later they're gone. In a commission role, it's very, very difficult to get off the ground, and it's not a role for everybody. So it'll take, you know, 10, 20, 30 candidates that you've trained for 2 or 3 of them to do very, very well. Stick around. Yeah. And be committed to that. So I want to get my volume up, number of units, maybe start acquiring some books. Okay. But always remembering that I still want to be able to service those clients. Right. And provide that white glove service. Right. So that's why I'm always looking at technology or how I can become more efficient as an agent, and maybe get involved a little bit more into the real estate market, purchase some other properties. So yeah, different things like that.
Okay. And so, and those things are all fantastic. So let's go back to that sort of commission conversation, right? My business is exactly the same way. You know, commission sales is tough for people. I started at, I want to say 22, give or take. You were 23. Yep. Right. Give or take. What do you think allowed you that ability to be in a commission sales role at a young age, and not be too, you know, stressed about not making money?
I lived with my parents.
So it's just still living at home.
I was living at home, right? Yeah. So I didn't have too much overhead on a day-to-day basis, and that helped, right? I also didn't have anything to lose. Right. Being young, right? Yeah. So if it didn't work out, I would just find another job, right? Figure it out. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a family relying on me, so it was easier. I'll be honest, right? Yeah. But as things started to go well, I also started to build in expenses, and I think that's very important as an entrepreneur or somebody in sales. Is I'm always, when something positive happens in my business, or I reach that next level of volume in my business or units, I reward myself, but I also reward myself with certain things that push me to work harder, right? So I remember I financed my first car a few years ago, and that, you know, lit a fire under me to work hard. I had something to pay for now,
something
right?
To lose now, yeah.
Something to lose. I moved out. I started renting for a little bit, right? And then I was able to get a mortgage. But all those little things that I was doing, I wasn't spending foolishly, but it was driving me to work harder, because now I had something to.
Right. And is that something you learned from Joe? Is it something you learned from your parents? Is it something you just did intuitively?
Something I think I just did intuitively. I needed that push, right? Yeah. You get comfortable at home, right?
Yeah, definitely. You can get comfortable
Sometimes I wish I was back at home. Yeah.
Can't come and go as you please anymore sometimes.
Yeah, meals are cooked, laundry's done. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get older, man.
Then you put your big boy pants on and head out into the real world.
That's right. And then you're like my wife and I, we just had a kid, and now you're taking care of somebody else's meals as well as your own, right? So
that pressure's good, right?
Yeah. And so do you find that you're a person that, I don't know if you've heard this saying, but some people are driven by running away from something and other people are driven by running towards something. Do you know which person you are? Do you have a mix of both?
I would say a mix of both. Very goal oriented. So if there's something that I want to achieve, like I'm full throttle and eyes are on the prize, right?
Yeah.
But also, I think most people in sales always feel broke,
right?
And always feel like they could be busier.
Yep.
So in that sense, I'm always running away from being slow again.
Right.
Or not having any leads in my pipeline.
Yep.
Or not being able to pay the bills. Like that's constantly driving anybody, I think, right? And as you make more money, your expenses get higher and there's more pressure.
Yep. Yeah, you increase your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And salespeople can do that.
Yeah.
Especially considering commission sales can be very lucrative. You can increase your lifestyle too quick, right? And sometimes cause yourself a problem.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Have you built in yourself some safety features? You know, making sure that do you pay yourself first like most business owners should? Did you incorporate yourself? Like, what are some of the things that you sort of did to mitigate some of those issues?
I incorporated, you set yourself up with life insurance. I think it's diversifying your assets and the money that you have, whether it's buying real estate, putting money in the stock market, not just going 100% on one thing.
Right.
Not that those other things can replace what I'm doing, but if for whatever reason I had to fall back on it, you can. Being self-employed, for me, one of the scariest things is if I can't work.
Right.
And very easily I could be in a position where I can't work. And then all of a sudden, if you don't have a team around you, everything shuts down.
Right.
So you don't want to be in the business where you are just the business.
Right.
And it's just Linden.
Yeah.
So when you can get to a point to hire somebody to steer the ship, when you're not there,
delegate a little bit.
Yeah, delegate, be able to take time off, head on vacation, and have somebody else take over. Is very, very important.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I think most self-employed business owners maybe need to learn more, because I have found that most independent commission-only salespeople, business owners, entrepreneurs, either feel like somebody can't do it as well as them.
Yes.
So they get in that fear of like, I don't even need to worry about hiring somebody because nobody can do it as good as me. But it's that whole concept of like somebody else doing 80% as good as you will give you more time to go do what you're good at instead of doing the things you're not good at. Outside of the paperwork and the admin stuff that is time consuming, are there other things that you have found that you feel you're not as good at or just don't want to do?
Like the follow-ups. When you get a lead in and you have to chase them 8 times to pick up the phone or send in their documents.
Yeah.
That's some of the things I don't enjoy, right? So I've been able to offload that to an assistant where I have that initial discovery call. I send them the intake form.
Here's what we need from you.
Yeah. And then they'll go and chase, right?
Yeah.
So if there's anything that ever happens in my life where I don't enjoy doing a certain tasks, I make sure to offload it right away. Because you want to do what you love. And I've seen many people growing up so far where they're in a role and they hate their job.
Yeah.
And that affects everything outside of it.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, I mean, I have lots of conversations around that. Like, so many people think that I have lots of friends that think I work too hard, right? I work too many hours. I don't take enough time off. I don't play enough sports. I don't hang out with them enough outside, but I'm working 6 days a week, sometimes 7, depending on what's going on, but it doesn't feel like work to me.
Yep.
Like, I love what I do. I love chasing the next sale. I love growing. And you've obviously found that yourself.
I do.
Right?
Yeah. It's
if you're not having fun with it, it's not the right thing for you.
Growth is very satisfying to me.
Right.
Right. Seeing growth, and if I become stagnant, I want to make sure I switch up what I'm doing, and not keep doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah. And so when you say stagnant, obviously you have had a few periods where you felt stagnant.
Yeah.
Every
day I feel like that.
Every day. I highly doubt that.
Yes.
What kind of things make you feel stagnant?
Sometimes the phone's not ringing.
Yeah.
Right. There'll be, and it's just the market, but there'll be days where your phone doesn't ring and nobody's contacting you. And then the next day you have, 18 phone calls and you're like, okay, where was everybody?
Yeah.
Right. So that always happens.
Yeah.
And you're always, like you said, you're always chasing your next sale. Right. Yeah. So, then
when you're feeling stagnant like that, are there certain things that you like to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you reach points where you forget about outreach and rebuilding your pipeline. You're so stuck in the day-to-day, get the deal approved next, and you forget about the little things that you were doing to get your book to where it is.
To get that pipeline there.
So sometimes I go back to the basics, schedule those coffee meetings. Let's build relationships with people.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just forget to go back to the drawing board, right?
Yeah.
So
very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, man, you've had a lot of success very early on, which is fantastic. Obviously you learned a lot of lessons watching your parents, your dad in sales, learning. I'm assuming you do a lot of, not just your own podcast, listen to other podcasts.
I do.
Read books.
Cutting the grass, man. When I'm cutting the grass.
When you're cutting the grass?
Oh yeah, it's the only time where I'm doing something that
a little mindless that you can.
Yeah, it's mindless, right?
Do something else at the same time.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I listen to podcasts all the time. There's a mortgage podcast that I listen. I guess the only thing I listen to is a mortgage based, but Alex Hermosi, I think, is another one. I listen to his all the time.
Yeah, he's great.
And then starting to get into audiobooks.
Okay.
Sitting down and reading a book and flipping through the pages, I will fall asleep.
Yeah.
So try to put that on.
So what kind of things are you reading? What kind of things are you listening to?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of things do you feel that you need to grow into right now as someone who's been in the business for 2.5 years, had some success, wants more? What are some areas that you feel this is the next area where Linden Crain has to grow?
Right now I'm focusing on social media.
Okay.
So
I've seen a lot of your stuff now. It's a little bit funnier, a little bit, it's exciting.
I'm starting to really dial that in and try to figure out like what makes a video go viral, and have more time to do that now since I've offloaded a few things.
Yep.
And it's working. I'm
Awesome.
getting calls from other provinces. I just spoke to somebody out in Saskatchewan just from a video they saw. So
very cool.
Yeah, I try to focus on that. I would like to branch my business outside of just Windsor, Essex.
Yeah.
We're licensed across Ontario, and then we can team up with other agents in different provinces.
Okay.
So that's a focus of mine. Technology is a big one. AI, you really have to be ahead of it in this business. And I had lunch with a real estate lawyer yesterday, and it's changing their business. And we both came to the conclusion that if you're ahead of it, it's not going to replace you, and you can adapt. Yeah. So looking at that.
So what are some of the ways that you're trying to stay ahead of it?
I'm trying to I'm always researching different AI technology and testing it out to whether it optimize your emails or posting online or your bookkeeping, different things like that. Some of it's okay. Some of it's very early on and doesn't help your business at the moment. But I use ChatGPT all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are some I guess some areas that I'm focused on right now.
Right. Interesting, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're pretty much out of time. We've talked about a lot of different things.
Yes. Yeah.
It's exciting because I didn't know your story.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, outside of the one coffee that you and Jay and I had, I didn't know too much about you. I've seen a few of the Coffee with Crainer episodes. But we always end the episode with our guest, asking them one question, which is, to Linden Crain, what does success mean to Linden?
does success mean to Linden? For me, I look at success as setting a goal and achieving it. Doesn't have to focus on the financial outcome. Something super simple, like making your bed and saying you're going to do it and actually complete that task. That's how I look at success. And I also look at success as legacy. So for me, what do I want to be remembered by when my time comes is always something that I look at. So just being a good person and being somebody that they talk about after you're gone. Right. So that's how
it's interesting you say that as a 25-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of 25-year-olds thinking about,
you never know, right? Like anything could
gonna be
happen.
like, you know?
Yeah, anything could happen, and you want to be like, okay, you know, I remember that guy. He was a great guy. He achieved these things, and hopefully inspire somebody else when they're looking back at it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, awesome, man. I appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming to Cracking the Success Vault here with us, our guest Linden Crain. So thanks for the time.
Yes.
To all of our viewers out there, if you guys want to find the podcast, you can find the YouTube channel. We've got lots of different social media out there, and you can tune into more episodes in the future.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it.